Hello, this is BugPowderDust. Thank you once again for joining me for another World of Tanks replay. So this replay is a guest replay sent in by RD93. I particularly like this replay, and you'll see why as we get towards the end of the match. RD93 is in a T29 USA heavy tank. The map is mines. RD93 has played just shy of 10,000 battles, 52% win ratio, so he's been around a while. T29 he's relatively new to, he's played about 30 battles in it so far. So he's clearly made up his mind early on that he wants to go over to the island west part of the mines map. Personally, I quite like going over there as well. It allows you to be quite aggressive, and if they haven't put many tanks over there, it allows you to exploit that flank and push up quite hard. He hasn't got a great deal in the way of backup. He's got a light tank, the WZ, which is moving up. He's got an SU-152 as well. The majority of the firepower in the heavy tanks go up the right hand side, and the battle for the hill takes place. So he trundles over. To be honest, personally, I don't tend to go for the island if I'm in a heavy tank. I tend to get a little bit too paranoid that when I push over and you get slowed down in the area where RD93 is now, you can get sniped at and hit as you are exposing your side to the enemy. But he makes it across safely, which is good news, and he spots an opportunity to take a pop at a KV, challenging for the hill. Unfortunately, he misses. It looks like he hits, but he doesn't. So he just pulls himself into cover while he's reloading, takes another shot. Relatively accurate gun on the T29. It's the 105mm. Does an average of about 320 damage. It's the same gun as the T32 gets, which is the next tank up. So really, you've got a tier 8 gun on a tier 7 vehicle. So he takes cover behind a bush and just waits, sees what is going to come over the brow of the hill in the island in the middle there. I mean, it's not technically an island, I suppose it is joined by land, but you know what I mean. So he's keeping an eye on things, just keeping an eye on the hill over there, seeing what's coming up. We can see there's a Ferdinand in the distance, and really he's on his own. He's really the only kind of heavy firepower there. There is a Ferdinand in the middle of the map, sort of covering the island as well, so he's not completely on his own. The scout tank is right at the back of the map. He is putting shots into the hill in the middle, but really the scout should be kind of up front, scouting, lighting up tanks for the T29 and the Ferdinand. So at the moment it's fairly even. There we go. Ferdinand's now in a position where the T29 can hit him. He wastes no time in putting a shot into the side of the 30. He doesn't seem to react, so RD decides, well, I'm going to take another shot on the assumption the 30 didn't move. Waiting for some kind of reaction. Doesn't seem to be any. He sees the scout tank move up behind him, so he pushes down as well. Now, personally, I probably wouldn't have done that myself. I probably would have gone round, but no problem. It's just a little bit of damage. He doesn't take any track damage, so that's really good. So the scout tank's pushing up ahead, lighting up targets now for our artillery and the 30. So now we see there's a super Pershing there as well as the Ferdinand goes down. Super Pershing is not so scary when you're at this range, because you can fairly easily target the top of the super Pershing, which is where the weak spots are, where the tubes are. At distance, super Pershing is a little bit more tricky, as guns don't tend to be particularly accurate, so hitting the Pershing's weak spots can be a bit tricky. So he pushes up to take cover behind the rock and bounces a shot from probably the VK. Gets a track knocked off by the ISU-152, which he hasn't seen yet. The ISU driver must be a little bit annoyed about that. Spots the artillery. Artillery turns to look at him, and he puts it down before the RT can take a shot. It's still quite even Stevens. The teams are fairly evenly split in terms of losses. He saw that there's an SU-100 in there somewhere, so he puts a speculative shot in, which is never a bad thing. This gun reloads fairly quickly, so it's not a big deal. So he's totally on his own. The scout's gone. The 30 back is giving him cover, but he's still pretty much on his own, so he pushes up quickly. to the next piece of cover, aware that the Aizu knows exactly where he is. Shot goes in and misses. He's made it to the next piece of cover, but he knows there's the Aizu there and an SU-100. So the SU-100 is behind the building, along with the American medium there, light, sorry, which he takes down. And again the Aizu hits his track, detracts him. He decides to push forward rather than retreat back behind the rock. I think this is quite brave, but it working out for him. Doesn't stop to take a shot at the SU-100, but he has to stop anyway as he's tracked once more. He decides to put this SU-100 down while he's repairing. Managed to ammo rack him. Pushes forward. He's now got this big rock in between him and the VK and the Aizu on the hill. So this buys him a little bit of time. However, the team is now losing. They have 4 left compared to the enemy's 6. So it's not looking great. But his position is pretty good here. He can take advantage of his good gun depression and solid turret armour. The turret, by the way, is 279mm armour at the front and 127 at the sides. A rather brave VK comes down the left-hand side here to take a pop at him. VK will have no problem penetrating the hull of the T29 from the front. It's 102mm, and certainly not from the sides and the rear. But that's a big gun the T29 has got. It can put down the VK in a couple of shots if he gets high damage rolls. So here's the Aizu. Unfortunately the shot misses. It's frustrating. But the Aizu player's decided that he can't compete with a kind of a hull down T29, quite rightly, and he pushes up. And by doing that he makes him lose concentration slightly. The VK pushes up, puts a shot into him. The Aizu in the meantime decides to shoot and ram. Now, on the one hand this is quite a good move because the combination of shooting him and ramming him may well have killed him, but he was left with 31 hit points. So they're head to head now. The Aizu puts a shot into his main gun, knocks it out. Fortunately he has a repair kit free, and then puts the Aizu down with a hastily repaired gun and then shoots him. So really that could have worked for the Aizu. Firstly, if he'd got higher rolls, higher damage rolls. Oh, this is funny, watch this. So he shoots the Tiger and misses. The Tiger shoots and misses him. Obviously he's using the wreck as cover. But the Tiger, instead of rolling back and going hull down and trading shots, he decides to roll off the hill. Takes a lot of damage and is finished off by the T29. So the Tiger 2, I think, could have played that a little bit better. So now we're in a position where the T29 RD is facing 3 enemy tanks, the IS-3, the Super Pershing and an IS, with 31 hit points. Now, if I was a betting man, I would place money on RD93 not actually winning this game. But he started capping, and he started capping ahead of the other team capping, so it's now going to force them to react. They have to come to him, so that's a good move. Now, the IS-3 and the Tiger 2 were both in the bottom right hand corner. The Tiger 2 came back as we saw, but where's the IS-3? Which is capping. Oh, there we go. So we've got very low health Super Pershing who's taken a shot, pulled back, but he's rather accurately shot the side of the Super Pershing and finished him off. So what's going to come back? Is it the IS-3 or the IS? We don't know at this point. Bit of a waiting game at this point. 31 hit points. A stiff breeze will kill him. Tree goes down. It's the IS-3's come back. That's not good. He's got 600 hit points. However, luck is with him. He bounces the IS-3 shot. But it's still really tense. The IS-3 shows him his side. He puts a shot in and bounces a second shot from the IS-3. IS-3 could have played this a little bit better, I think. Showing him his side every single time was not a smart move. And he puts him down. That's all it takes, is just some really good shots there. And he started capping early enough so that this is going to be a victory and not a draw. But he played that blindingly. Didn't make any mistakes whatsoever. Really, really good game from RD93 there. And victory. Awesome. Right, so let's take a quick look at what he earned. He earned 5,184 experience. Yes, that's times by 2, but if you halve that, that's just over 2,500 XP, which is brilliant. Got a nice amount of money, got an absolute stack load of medals. Got 6 medals: Top Gun, Steel Wall, Invader, Spartan for his little showdown with the IS-3 and bouncing those shots, Radley Walters and Kolobanov's medal. So really good work there. And taking a quick look at the stats screen here, we've got 22 shots fired. He did just under 4,000 damage, received 13 hits with a potential damage of 6,210. Damaged 11 enemies, so very much up in the thick of things, and very much a key player for his side. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that guest replay from RD93. Very well played, sir. If you have a replay that you'd like me to make a video out of and big you up significantly, then please send it to me. I'll put the contact details in the video description. But for now, stay safe out there. This has been BugPowderDust, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers. Bye bye.